I am Save-Scum. When I play Doom, before, after, and sometimes during big fights, I'll typically save my game. When I have to do pretty much any kind of platforming, I'll save my game. When I'm low on health and don't know if I'll make it through the rest of the map but don't want to overwrite my current save file, sometimes I'll save in a second slot. Even when I'm playing maps I know like the back of my hand, if I know a hard part is coming up, sometimes I'll save my game. Why? Because I am Save-Scum. People play classic Doom for different reasons. Some people play it for the nostalgia. Some people just like shooting demons. Some people play it because they saw it was $5 on the Switch store and thought, hey, maybe I'll give that a try. And some people are masochists, the difficulty junkies, the challenge seekers. Now, Doom has always been good at making the player feel like they need to escalate things. The easier difficulty settings straight up make fun of you, and the end screens spit out percentages like report cards. It's no wonder the player base immediately took to finding ways of making the game harder. Doom always encouraged that behavior. Nowadays, players are spoiled for choice when it comes to punishing game modes in classic Doom. You can pistol start, you can play on ultraviolence, UV with co-op monsters, UV with fast monsters, UV with fast co-op monsters, UV max, which is going for all kills and secrets under any of the above conditions. You can play on Nightmare, in which monsters can't be permanently killed. No problem, there's still Nightmare 100% secrets. You can play a map Tyson style, using fists, chainsaw, and pistol only. You can play a map Pacifist, without attacking any monsters directly. And while we're at it, how about Nightmare 100% Pacifist? Or Tyson UV Respawn. If you're a real Looney Tune, you can do a reality run where you're not allowed to take any damage, or perform a full Megawad run with 100% kills and secrets called D2 All, taking into account the Doom community's output of challenging WADs, some of which push even the best players to their limits under regular conditions. The possibilities for punishment are practically limitless. It's like hot sauce. Some people don't understand wanting to eat something that physically hurts, while others find pleasure in the burn. Personally, I love hot sauce, but I'm never going to try to beat Doom 2 with just my fists. Let me quickly interject that I hope what I've been saying so far doesn't sound defensive. This video is not a response to elitism in Doom or meant to diminish the accomplishments of players who are better than me. I'm just thinking aloud about whether saving really ought to be seen as scummy. Sure, if you can't get through Doom 2 without saving, you're not a great player, but since when is being a great player required to enjoy a game? Well, I would argue that since Doom 2016's advent of Ultra Nightmare, extreme endurance tests and unearthly skills have become increasingly normalized, especially in the eyes of Doom's broader audience. In terms of YouTube presence, that makes total sense. People will always want to watch high-level gameplay. But I think Doom's pursuit of pain ethos has percolated into more players than ever before, setting potentially unrealistic expectations and perhaps creating a lot of undue frustration. It's understandable that players would want to put themselves through a game's crucible to test their mettle, to earn the respect of their peers, and for personal gratification. But I've witnessed first and second hand the debilitating sensation of feeling unequal to a game's challenge and ostracized from its more die-hard fan clubs as a result. Here's the thing. I'm not actually this calm and collected in real life. As a kid, video games had me regularly pitching fits and throwing controllers, and even today I take them way too seriously. For most of my life, I haven't really treated video games like entertainment so much as a tightrope walk of perfectionism, and I've been forced to learn my limits where Doom is concerned. For God's sake, I can hardly tolerate taking an unearned hit, let alone face the horror of dying right at the end of an hour-long marathon map. I'd want to kill myself. Rather than trying to up the ante intensity-wise, I'm in the process of learning how to enjoy the game, if that makes sense. For me, that started with acknowledging that I want to stop caring about how good I am, and realizing that I'm not a gambler. What I mean by that is, when the threat of death is real, playing without saves is essentially gambling with your time. If the thrill of victory erases the pain and lost hours your past failures cost you, then you have the right constitution to play Doom saveless. I am definitely not calibrated that way. I've beaten Doom, Doom 2, and TNT Evolution's Mount Pain from pistol start without saves as a matter of principle, but I didn't have any fun doing it. If anything, the letdown of dying was too demoralizing for me to want to keep playing that way. In a community as passionate as this one, it's easy to forget sometimes that Doom is just a game. At the end of the day, it's something we do for fun, and everyone's definition of fun is different. If you don't think you're going to enjoy Doom unless you're good at it, then I'd probably recommend against using saves, because in the long term, playing saveless definitely makes you a better player. It refines the way you confront each map, permits fewer mistakes, and takes you out of your comfort zone. I admit, the more Doom I play, the less I find myself saving out of fear rather than force of habit. But the thing is, most of us aren't playing this game because we want to be Zero Master. Back in my days of playing keyboard only on Steam DOSBox Doom, I'd save after every room because simply enduring each level was already challenging enough for me. I'd watch playthroughs on YouTube and wonder how they made it look so easy. I think to myself, man, I must suck. And I'll tell you what, I probably think about how much I suck nowadays more than I did back when I started playing Doom, and I think that might partly be a symptom of the Ultra Nightmare phenomenon, where you're either part of the club or you're not. You've gotten good or you haven't. Folks, it doesn't have to be that way. If you're not as good at Doom as you want to be, then rest assured, your desire to improve will do the work for you, and no amount of setbacks or failures will get in your way. But if you're feeling pressure to get better because you want to meet some imagined standard of excellence, then you're inflicting unnecessary pain on yourself. If you're like me, and you save before big fights and stupid platforming sections, you can cut yourself a break. It's much easier to say than it is to internalize, but I like to think I get a little bit closer to believing it every day. The point is, whether or not you use saves has nothing to do with your value as a player. It has to do with whether or not it helps you enjoy the game. Doom should make you feel good. It doesn't even have to be Doom. If you're doing what you're doing for fun, enjoy it. And try not to tie your sense of self-worth to it. In Doom, every map is a playground, and it's your recess. I'm MountPain27, and I am Save-Scum.